Hello everybody, my name is Mia Young and I'm the lifestyle coordinator at the Overture in Frisco. If you are wondering why I only have one eye makeup side done, it's because I'm going to be showing you how to create this natural look. So keep watching if you're interested. Okay, so getting started, everything that I am using in this video will be e.l.f. products. e.l.f. products are really easy to find and they're also really inexpensive. So that's the reason why I chose to use the e.l.f. products in this video. I got all of the products that I'm using today from Target. So Target has them at CVS or Walgreens. You can go to Walmart. Sometimes even the Family Dollar will have them. So very easy to find, very affordable. The eye palette that I'm going to be using is the e.l.f. The New Classics palette. It's kind of, you have glare on it, but so it comes with a ton of different colors, and this palette is actually only $10. The other thing is I did buy a new brush set as well, so I could also be using e.l.f. brushes. There was a 5-pack of brushes that came for $12. So those are probably the most expensive products that I picked up, was just the palette and the brushes. Everything else, relatively cheap. I also will be showing you guys how to apply a false set of lashes. These lashes are not e.l.f. They're Ardell lashes, but they're also found at Target. I'm using the 854 Ardell lashes that are 3D mink lashes, and these lashes, guys, were $5. So and I love them. They're really natural looking, so that's why I chose those. But let's get into how to create the eyeshadow. So I'm going to start off by using, it's really a blending brush, but they have a flat brush that's in here that I really like to use for packing on eyeshadow onto your eyelids. So this is the brush here. This is what it looks like. And the first color that I'm going to be using is going to be the cream color, just to kind of have a matte base, because I primed my eyes before this. So you want to make sure that you put some powder on top of your primer. So just gonna put some of this on, and I will be putting this all over the lid. I'm also going to turn the brush so that I can blend it out into my crease as well. That's as far as you want to go with this color. Relatively simple, right? Okay, so the next brush is also going to be a blending brush. This one is called the Fluffy Eye Blender. They rate the name on the brush, you can see that. But this is what it looks like. The key to this look and making it look as natural as possible is blending. Blending. I cannot say it enough. So I'm gonna be going in with the color Darling, which is this one. So you just want to pick up a little bit of product. There will be a lot of fallout, so I just kind of tap it on the edge of this to knock some of the powder off. And you're gonna start in the outer corner, just because the first initial, I guess the first time that you put the brush down, more product is gonna be falling off. And you don't wanna have a ton of product in the inner corner or close to your crease on the inner corner. So you drop most of the product off at the outer corner of your eye right here. And once you can kind of tell that more of the product has already fallen off the brush, you just start to blend. So you can blend in circles, kind of drag it up a bit, blend it all over. But mostly we're using this color just in the crease, so you don't want to take it all the way into your lid. Fairly simple. I actually like it to be a little bit darker, so I'm gonna add a little bit more of that same color just in the outer corner. I wonder if it's creeping anybody out that I have one eye open and the other is completely shut, but hey. Okay. Fairly simple. Now, I like to have a dark crease, or even just in the outer corner. I'm dropping everything. Just because I feel like it brings a natural essence to your eyes and it makes them look larger if you have a darker color kind of in the outer corner. So I'm taking this brush. It's called the Small Precision brush. It's really small, and I'm picking up just a little bit of this color called Muse. It's the darker brown color right here. Just a little bit of it on my brush, and what I'm going to do is actually just use this to drop product. It packs color on really well, and with it being so small, it's not going to put too much on the lid. So I'm just gonna go ahead and where you can kind of see your crease, like where the line is between your lid and then the upper eye area, that's where you want to put it in terms of location, and just kind of bring it in towards your lid a little bit when you're deciding where to drop the color. That's normally how I do it. And I'm gonna pick up just a little bit more, make it darker. I like you to be able to see the difference in the two colors that you use. And I know you guys can tell it looks really patchy right now, but we are going to be using our favorite blending brush once again, this fluffy eye blender, to blend everything out. And you just kind of want to make sure that there's not really any product on it. I just tap it a few times, turn it around and tap it again, and then I like to check on my hand first, so I kind of just to make sure there's no product on it. You don't see anything fall off. So then you're just taking the brush and simply blending out everything that you just picked up. Blending will kind of mesh the colors together. I want to make sure those patches are gone. It just smooths it out. So very nice, very natural looking. And then I'm actually just going to do it one more time. Now I like a little bit more brightness to my eyeshadow, or my lid in my inner corner, but I don't want it to be too bright because I don't want to take the essence away from the brown. So I'm going to take this small angled brush that came in our e.l.f. pack and pick up the color Glamour, just right over here. It's kind of a light shimmery color, but it's not too far off from the base color that we picked up to put underneath all of the shadow. So I like this one a lot. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up just a little bit, do our little tap ritual, and start in the inner corner with this color. And you don't want to drag it all the way into the crease, just because you'll be taking some of that blended brown that we worked so hard for away. And you're really not supposed to be going out to inward, but I do. I'm a sucker for breaking the rules, so. And once you put that color on, you're going to bring back out this fluffy eye blender brush, tap just a little product of the initial brown color we were using, Darling, and blend between where you put the color, where that harsh line is, and your original color. And I'm just taking the rest of the product off the brush so that I can blend out some more. Very nice. Okay. Now, I'm not an eyeliner person just because I feel like it's a little too harsh. So what I do is I take kind of a flat brush, like this brush that luckily was in that pack. And it's really an eyeshadow. It's called Eyeshadow C brush, but I am actually going to use this to line the top of my eye to make it look a bit larger. So what I'm gonna do is, and you would actually, I like to use a little bit of spray water, but you don't want it to be too wet. So I spray it just one time. Just one time. And I'm going to be picking up just a little bit, and you want to pick it up on the tip of the brush. So I'm going to be picking up Earth, just kind of this dark color here. Very nice color. And the wetness kind of makes it go on in more of a precise line. It kind of, I guess, makes it look a little bit like eyeliner, but it's soft. Like, it's a lot softer than eyeliner would be. So I start, of course, at the outer edge just because you want to see how it's going to come on. Okay. And I don't think it's wet enough, so I'm going to spray it one more time. And pick up just a little bit more color. If you want it darker than that line appears to be, put a little bit more water on the brush. And then you can pick up some more product and go over it. There we go. You don't have to drag the line all the way up to the very beginning of your eye. I like to, but I don't like it to be too thick towards the inner corner. I'd rather be thicker and darker towards the outer corner. So there's that line. And I like to, of course, take this brush, the blending brush, and kind of blend this outer line up into the crease a little bit so that it doesn't end so harsh and the color is not just out of the ordinary. Everything kind of blends together. Okay, and then I didn't quite remove all the product off of this brush because I do like to drag the color that you line the top of your lid with down to underneath your waterline, so the bottom lash line, and kind of line my eyes very nice and natural, smoky kind of look. Which also makes your eyes appear larger. perfect. You can make it as dark as you want it. It doesn't have to be as dark as I have it, but very nice color. And then I'm going to be going back in with the small angled brush just to add some highlight to the inner corner. I'm going to be taking the color Glamour and just tap in the first initial, like tap in the tip in there. You don't want to get too much product. And then I'm going to be also adding the color Cosmo to the tip. And I place it, I start up here, right here in the very corner, and I kind of drag it. And just kind of blend it out as you're dragging it into all these areas, so it doesn't look so harsh, but you still see a good highlight towards the inner color. Perfect. Okay. So that completes the eye look. The next step is to add some mascara. I do put mascara on my regular lashes, but I don't put them on the fake lashes because you don't want to look like you have spider legs coming out of your eyes. Some people put mascara on their lashes, but to me they're already black, so there's not really a point to, and they're already shaped really well. So I just put them on my regular lashes. The only reason I put them on my top lashes is because you might have had some eyeshadow fall out onto your top lashes. So you just want to put a little bit. I used to have individual lashes in there, and I'm waiting for the last ones to fall out. So I'm going to be kind of brushing those into the fake lashes so that they're not noticeably different, kind of like how I did these. And then you want to put them on your bottom lash line as well. I take a little bit longer to put them on my bottom lash line because I like when my mascara is a little bit more dry, just because you won't get a lot of product on your actual skin instead of on the lashes. So that's my preference on that. And then I'm using Duo Glue just because it's the cheapest. You can find it at literally any drugstore, grocery store. It's pretty good. It keeps your lash on all day, and then it dries kind of quickly whenever you put it on your lash to put it on your eyelid. So I guess that's a good perk of it. I tend to take my lashes off throughout the day if I don't have individual lashes in, just because a lot of times I get tired of them being on my eyes. But sometimes if I need them on all day for an event or something like that, then I can keep it on all day with this glue. So it really is a good glue. Lashes are only supposed to last about a day if they're the strip lashes, but I know a couple of people that choose to keep them on for a couple of days, and they might just have to touch up the glue on the lashes the next day whenever they wake up in the morning. But personally, I take them off every night before I go to bed. So but yes, this glue will keep it on for a relatively long time. So this is a lash. This part is going to be up, so you would place the lashes up. A lot of people use tweezers to place their lashes. Me personally, I like to get close and personal, so I use my fingers. But technically you're supposed to be using tweezers. It might be easier for you to use tweezers, but I personally think it's easier to use your hands. So what I'm going to be doing, and this is, I opened the top of the glue, is I'm going to be placing a thin line of glue on this strip. You don't need to put it on the actual lashes. The strip is going to be what is placed on your lash line. So you're wanting to place the lashes right above where your lashes start on the lash line. You don't want to place it up on the lid, because then you'll be able to see skin between your lashes and it'll look like you have strip lashes on. So I'm just going to place this thin line here. It's better to be thinner because then the glue dries faster. And so you're not having to play around with it too much more before it dries on your lash line. And I like to wait a little bit once I place the glue. So this is what the glue looks like placed on the lash line. I like to wait a little bit before I place it on and wait till the glue gets a little bit more tacky, just because it's easier to hold down. If it's more tacky, it'll hold to your lid quicker so that you have time to place the other areas of the lash before it dries completely. But if you don't and you put it on right away, you're gonna have to hold all areas of the lash. Otherwise, you're gonna have parts that come up, and it's just a lot more messy and a lot more difficult to place the lash if you don't. So that's just my opinion. I think it's easier if you put a little glue on, and not a lot of people tell you that about lashes, but it's very, very helpful information. So you're welcome. Okay, so I see the glue is still white, but it kind of has a kind of clear finish towards the middle, like it's starting to dry a little bit. That's how you can tell whenever it's getting more tacky. Because this is the first time I'm placing this lash, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm not gonna wait any longer. I'm just gonna go ahead and stick it, just because you wanna make sure that you have the placement right on the lash. The way I place this one, the end is kind of further out. So I'm going to start at the end of my eye. And start pushing it in. And you might have to push down the ends multiple times once you find where you want the lash to go, just because it still has to dry. And once it starts drying, you won't have to keep on pressing it, but you do want to make sure that the ends and the very beginning of the lash is glued down. And if you want to open your eye and make sure that it's on your lash line and not on your eyelid too high up, you're more than welcome to. Don't get discouraged if it doesn't match the other lash yet. This is not the finished product. Once you glue it, you have to kind of play with the lash a little bit. So now I'm just waiting on the glue to finish drying so it can stick to my lash line completely. Almost there. The good news is that it's glued on the corner, or on the corners, multiple. Okay. And you might have to pull from the bottom lashes just to make sure they're not still stuck, and kind of just brush it upwards. Okay. Now, what I like to do is take a spoolie. These are very, very easy to find. They have disposable spoolies that are also at the drugstore that are very, very cheap, and they come in multiple packages, or packaged as multiple. And I like to kind of brush the eyelashes so that it can start fitting the shape of my eye. It's kind of how and then when you brush, you might have to restick. No big deal. The glue takes quite a bit of time to dry completely, but for the most part, it is dry. So once it sticks. And then you just want to press on here. And what I do, if there is a part of the lash that isn't stuck completely, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to take the whole lash off and re-glue it. You can just grab a Q-tip, and the Q-tip, you just add a dot of glue at the very tip of the Q-tip and kind of stick it underneath the part that will not glue. And that's about it. Nothing too crazy. Perfect. So now your lash is on and you're good to go. So very simple, mostly brown look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about anything, feel free to ask away. And I can't wait to see your finished looks. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.